Okay, so yesterday we got to completely do our adjustment entries. All right, all the way down to accruing the payroll for Irene and as well as the commissions. All right, we've also completed the four financial statements. We completed the unadjusted trial balance first, right? And we got to sum up all of each, the adjusted trial balance, and we got to sum up each main account. So it's easier to go ahead and fill out the rest of our financial statements. We've also completed the income statement, right? And we also got a positive $13,152 profit, okay? Then we've reinvested in our company to complete our equity statement of equity, right? We started out with the beginning. We added our net income and we subtracted our withholdings to get us a grand total of $40,000 of equity. We've also completed our balance sheet, right? So we added up all of our assets, added up all of our liabilities, and added the equity that we saw from the statement of equity. And here we balance on both sides, right? We also completed the statement of cash flows. We struggled a bit, but it's complete. Just a little off by a couple $1,000, but that's okay. I'm not going to test you on the statement of cash flows, just only the other four worksheets that we just looked at. So now the next step is to do the post-closing trial balance. So before we can even do that, we got to close out our accounts. So, and we're going to close them out to our infamous little ledger account called income summary, okay? For corporations, it is called retained earnings, okay? And what you can do with retained earnings is you have a couple choices too. But for corporations, retained earnings you cannot actually take out. You can only take out profits and distribute them as dividends. And that's exactly why retained earnings, if you actually learn corporate, it's the formula for retained earnings is revenues minus expenses minus dividends. Okay, so that is exactly what retained earnings is. So before we even move or create our retained earnings, we need to distribute our profits out. In this case, it's an income summary. We can as a sole proprietor, we can either pocket the profit or we can reinvest into our company. All right, where corporations, they're more likely to reinvest into their company, okay? And then they hold off on their dividends. But for today, since in my equity account, I've already said, I just started my business. The best thing I can do is reinvest that $13,000 profit into my company. So this is where we're going to start looking and closing out all of our accounts and going to take the income summary and place it into our equity to reinvest in our company. So with that being said, how do we, so what are the two temporary accounts that we zero out or we close out to income summary?
Say that again.
What are the two temporary accounts that we close out to the income summary?
Expenses and revenue.
Expenses and revenues, correct, right? Those are our temporary accounts. We close them out because they give us a perfect measurement or projection of how much profitability our company can have, because our expenses and our revenues will never be constant. All right, they're always going to be changing. All right, so with that being said, we need to zero them out to our income summary. All right, so income summary is going to be an equity account because it is what we transfer to our equity account at the end of the day. So with that being said, let's look at our revenues, okay? Our revenue, what kind of balance does our revenues typically have?
Credit.
They're currently right now credit. All right. So with that being said, how do I zero it out?
Debiting.
We need to debit every single revenue account in our books. So this is the fun part. We get to go through every single account and make them all zero. So let's go ahead and grab our journal. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start with one account at a time, and we're going to just slowly zero them out one at a time. Now, what you can do here is if you have it split screen, it's actually going to be easier because what you can do here is when you journalize it, you're going to immediately post it to the ledger and zero it out. So then you can actually see yourself zeroing out each account. And that way we don't have to post to the general journal completely and then post to the ledger. So this one's going to go back and forth between the two pages, all right? So in our sales, right, since each account is broken down, we're not going to use main accounts because we need to close out every single account every single revenue account that exists in our books. So what's the very first account that we see?
Sales regular coffee.
All right, so that's our first thing that we're going to close out. It's going to be sales regular coffee. And my account number for that one is 450. And what is my current balance in my sales for regular coffee?
$13.94.96.
$13.94.96. So we're going to debit that whole entire amount for $13.94.96. Okay? Once I've completed my debit here, I'm going to go ahead and come in here and I'm going to update my account. Okay, so here, the 30th, I'm going to go ahead and say closing. Or you could do close. I do closing, so then you don't have to be tedious. But if you want to be more detailed, saying close out to income summary, you may do so. All right, so I put closing. This is general journal number 23. And I debited my account for $13.94.96. So therefore, my balance should be now 0. Okay? And then we can move on to the next account. So the next account here is going to be Sales Supreme Coffee. And I'm going to just list them all out here because at the end of the day, they're all going to, they're all going to zero out, and they're all going to be placed into the income summary. So you don't need to do individuals where you do regular coffee and then income summary because they're all going into one direction. You could just list them out because they're all going to go in one place. All right, so here is my sales for Supreme Coffee for $4,100. And what amount is currently in my Supreme Coffee? Oh. 1436. 1436. Right, 1436.40. All right. So then that brings my balance down to 0. Okay? So then what's my next account? For how much? 1763.91. 1763.91. Right?
Lynn,
Mm-hmm.
when I am doing mine, for whatever reason, when I put the number in the debit and I pull down, I still get the same number. It's not zeroing out for me, and I have the formula.
Okay, so what's your tell me what your formula is.
Um, the G, well, on Supreme, it's G42 plus E43 minus F43. The only way to zero it out is to put um, the debit in the normal balance. So you're putting it just in the debit section next to the post reference. I have to put it in both debit sections. Is that normal?
No. Okay, so because it's a normally a balance of this, so here you might have to refresh your formula. So let's go ahead and do it again. So let me just type in this real quick. 1763.91. Okay, so your formula, okay, right? It's going to be up 1, okay? Because we're on the credit side, we're going to add my row E, okay? And we're going to subtract row D. So I think you might have it one row off or one column off.
Okay, let's do, and you're in, which one are you in right now? You're in, let's do this. Okay, let me see something. Okay, 6:30. Closing.
What if we reverse the formula? Would it come up zero as well?
What do you mean by reverse the formula?
The the G equals G74 minus D75 plus the credit would still zero out, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because that's a formula that I've been using, so I'm not sure.
No, that's right. That's right. That's correct because order of operations for plus and minus doesn't matter.
Exactly. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'm
So,
having to read my computer, so we can go ahead and move forward, and then I'll come back to it.
okay, so when you do your formula, you're only dealing with column D and column E. Column F doesn't matter.
Okay,
You don't need column F.
gotcha.
All right.
Um,
So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this formula down, and it should zero out. All right. So then what's the next one I have?
Medium regular.
So sales medium regular coffee for 43.
Or, because I can't see what you have.
Hold on, I'm doing my account number first. So 4,300, and the amount is going to be
$5,221.76.
5221.76. 5221.76. Okay. So what you can do here is if you're very tidy and you keep your sheets very in the same folder and you don't move it around or anything, you're more than welcome to what do you call it? Cell reference from different worksheets and workbooks. Like this is two separate documents, correct? I can do that, but it does mean your computer could process a lot slower just because we're dealing with so many workbooks and so many worksheets that it's going to lag by pulling the information from worksheet to worksheet. That's why I'm typing it out. Just a little FYI. So here you go. I have 5,221.76. All right, so come here. Closing. All right, general journal number 23. And I'm debiting my account for 5,221.76. And that should zero my account out. Right? So then what else is next?
Like regular copy.
Okay, so sales, large, regular, coffee. All right, account number 4350, and my amount is
503.25.
6503.25. Okay. Closing general journal number 23, 6503.25. All right. And that should zero it out. Okay. 6503.25. Right. So then what is next?
Medium Supreme.
Right. Medium supreme coffee for 44.50.
500. Oh, 4,500.
Oh, okay. Hold on. No, this is supposed to be 40. This is supposed to be 4,500. Yeah, that should be 4,500. Okay, so because 4,500 is the large supreme coffee. Okay, so going back to this, so my medium supreme coffee is how much?
6,655 and 77 cents.
665577. All right. Closing. General journal number 23 for 665577, which should, if I pull down my formula, be 0. Okay. What else is next?
Large supreme coffee.
Sales for large supreme coffee. Okay. Account number 4500, And my amount is
7524.44. 7524.44.
752444. 752444. All right, come over here. 30. And closing. General Journal 23. 752444 should make you down to 0. Right? So then what's next is sales returns and allowances. What kind of balance does this have? Hello?
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
What kind of
Debit balance.
it has a debit balance.
No, debit balance. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to skip that for now because I want to make sure that I have all my debits accounts first. So in order to zero out this kind of, you need to do a credit. So I'm going to skip that one for now. Sales discount is also a debit balance. So I'm going to skip that for now. What about delivery income?
Credit balance.
Yes.
Debit.
All right. So let me see. That's it, right? That is it. So I do delivery income first. All right, and my account number for that is 48,000. And how much is my delivery income for? 300. So therefore, I'm going to debit my $300. So then I'm going to come here. So if I'm going to debit my account for $300, that should zero out my account. Right? Oh, cancel. So there you go. I cleared out my debit, my delivery income. I don't have any interest income, so I have to go back and make sure I zero out these two accounts here. So how do I zero out a debit account?
We credit it.
We credit it. Okay, so what's my first? What account is this?
Sales return and allowances.
Sales returns and allowances. Oops. And how much am wait, hold on, let me do my 45,000. And what is my credit going to be? What's my total balance right now?
1996.
1996. All right. Hopefully we can still see 1996. Okay. And so I come here, 630, closing. General Journal number 23. And I closing it with a credit balance of 1996, which should bring my balance to be 0. Okay. And then lastly, I have what account?
Sales discount.
Sales discount. Okay. For number 46,000. And how much am I going to credit my account for?
Is it the 1887.20? Is that the final number? Yeah.
Eight,
Okay, there. 1979 cents.
1979. So here I'm going to go ahead and indicate 1979 cents. Okay. So here, closing. General Journal 23. 19,079. So therefore, my balance is 0. Okay. So Adina, did you need to go ahead and go over the credit side again? Formula?
You know what? I'm still working on getting everything together. What I'll do is I'll just go ahead and go back to look at this video
Okay.
because I don't want to have to anybody to fall behind or just have to wait.
All right.
So I'll just go ahead and refer back to this. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So last things last, what account am I placing all of this information in? Where am I zeroing all these accounts out to?
Income summary.
Income summary. So that's my last credit here. Income summary. And what account number is income summary?
$39.99.
39,999. Okay. And of course, I need to solve for how much my total ending is supposed to be. So by doing this quick calculation over here, so what I am going to do my debits equal my credits, or you can do the calculation yourself and solve for what income summary should be. So I'm going to equal sum all of these. Okay. And then I'm going to make a note here. So, oh, $28,879.75.
74.
I got 74. All right. And then I'm going to also make sure that that's actually correct by equal summing both sides. And I get 3,849 on both sides. Okay. So here I credited my income summary. So since I'm already here in my ledger and I've already zeroed out every single account, I'm going to go ahead and add this into my income summary ledger. So I'm going to go ahead and make a note here that these are closing out all revenues. and it's a credit number for 2887974. Making my credit balance to be the same number, 2887974. All right. So the last thing I'm going to do is also I'm going to make a little note here saying that I'm closing out to the income summary. Close okay. Good. All right. Any questions to what we just did here? No? Okay. So, I can tell you right now that you should draw a line right here because the expenses are going to be a very long list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line here. Because you could very well put another transaction in here. Okay. Right. So this is to prevent any person to just come into your books and just write something in here. All right. So that means my next step is I need to close out every single expense account to my income summary. So, all right, let's look at my first expense, which is cost of goods sold. Now, what is my normal balance for my cost of goods sold?
357.61.
Oh, I meant like what's my normal balance? Not the amount.
Debit.
It's a debit balance. Okay, so therefore we need to how do you zero out your debit balances? You got to credit every single expense account that is listed here. And where are we debiting all of that information to? Where are we closing out all of our income summary? Good. So the first thing I'm going to start off is my income summary because I always need to debit my debit account. I always need to put my debit accounts first. All right. And I know that account was 39999. All right. So what happens is we're just going to equal sum all of the expenses. But let's go through it one at a time and zero them out one at a time. So here is my first cost of goods sold. What is it? Cost of goods sold what? All right, account number 50050, I believe. So what is my total balance in my cost of goods sold regular coffee?
1,367.39.
Okay, so 1376.39. 67. So if I'm going to credit my account for that for the 1367.39, all right. So I'm going to come here. General journal number 24, and I'm crediting my account for 136779. Was it? No, 39. Let me make sure. 136739. Yeah, making sure that my journals match. Okay. 6739. So that should zero your account out. Next one is going to be
Supreme coffee. Corn. Supreme.
450100. And how much am I going to credit my account for?
1441.28.
1441. 144128. 144128. All right. Fourteen four one two eight. And that should zero out my account. 144108. Okay. So then what's my next cost of goods sold?
Ceramic mugs. Ceramic mugs.
So cost of goods sold, ceramic coffee mugs. All right, so 50, 150. All right, and I'm going to credit my account for 1183. 84. 1183.84. All right, which should also bring my account balance to zero. Okay. Then I have cost of materials. So what is next for cost of materials?
Medium coffee cups, 286.70.
So COM, medium coffee cups. All right, my account number is 51200. 51200. And I am cutting my account for 28670. 28670. So for 28670, making my account 0. 28670. Okay. So what's next?
Large coffee cups.
Fifty-one 250.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to credit my account for 35163. 31563. Three five one six three. 35163. Okay. What is next?
Sugar,
Cost of material for sugar.
51,300.
443.20. $43.20, which should bring my balance down to 0. Okay, 43.20. All right, next, last but not least, for my cost of goods sold is going to be cost of materials for the creamer. We still have to go through our operating expenses, Lynette. Okay, so 35926. 35926. 35926. 0. Okay, and that's it for my cost of goods sold. Now, lastly but not least, we have our operating expenses to close out as well. All right, so starting from number 1, what is my first account I'm going to be zeroing out?
Advertising expenses.
Advertising expenses. All right. What is an S? Advertising expenses. Or advertising expense. Account number 60. Oh, just 60,000. Yeah. Okay, 60,000. And how much am I going to be crediting it for? 185 even. Which should bring your account down to 0. All right, what about my bank fees?
Yes. 835.
For 835, 6,100. 6,100 for 835. 0. Right? And then I have business expenses. For a total of
1282.78.
1282.78. Right? 630. Closing general journal 24 for 1282.78. Right? Then what is next?
Freight expense.
Do we have anything in freight expense?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, 0.
All right. So what's next?
Insurance.
Insurance expense.
I didn't see that.
That's okay. All right, insurance expense is it 6040? 6400? For what amount?
195.83.
19583. Okay. Okay. 19583. So the next one is going to be labor expense. So in this case, we need to break it down from each and individual account. So what do I have here?
Subcontractor expense.
Yes, subcontractor expense. All right, for 6510. For what amount? 1890. 1890. Yes. So 630. Closing. General journal number 24 for 1890. Bring in my account down. Oh, forgot there's no formula there. Equals up 1 plus your debits minus your credits, 0. All right. And then I have temporary labor expense. For 252. Okay, hold on. Account number 6520 for 252 even. 252. All right, so I'm going to come here. 630. Closing. General journal number 24 for the 252. bring my account back down to 0. All right, what about the next one?
License and permit expense. $6,600. 375. And then last under social. $6,700.
Office supplies expense?
Yeah, credit.
Credit for how much?
70.
70. Okay. What about,
None on payroll. Zero. There's no activity or balance on that.
okay, so what's the next one?
Okay, salaries and wages.
Salaries and wages payable.
$884.
Hold on. What's the account number?
6810.
Sorry, I want it to look a little cleaner. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so salaries and wages payable for 6810. What is the amount?
884.
884. So here we go, come in here. 630. Closing. General number 24, 4884. Bringing my account balance to 0. All right, what's next? Commissions expense for account 60, 80, 20.
820.
All right, for what amount?
411.96.
411.96. Okay, so here. Oh, 96. $411.96. Okay. Payroll tax expense. For how much? 97.98. Okay. And what is next? Purchase expense. Do we have any? No, it's already 0. What about purchase returns and allowance? It has been zeroed out. And then any purchase discounts? We don't have any. So what about rent expense? What account number? 62,000.
Yep.
For 1,500. So 50, okay, good. Just zeroed out. All right. Almost there. Travel expense. Do we have any? Utilities expense. All right. Here's bad debt expense. Account number. For how much? 60 what?
I was gonna say 60,000 when you already typed it.
Okay, yeah, 65,000, okay.
The credit 7660.
7660. 7660. Okay. Mm-hmm. Closing general 24 for 7660. Okay, so that should bring your amount to 0. Okay. All right, 2 more accounts. So what about depreciation expense? What's the account number?
66,000.
66,000. For what amount?
652.91.
65291. 65652. 652?
625. No, 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 no. I'm sorry. There was an
62591.
intersposed.
62591.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I need a magnifying glass.
No worries. We're almost done with this class. There's no point to get one. All right, here you go. 24 for 62591. I'm going to double confirm that I wrote 62591.
62591.
All right, there you go.
800 too.
Yep, amortization is the is the last one. And then we are done with our expenses. There's no other expenses or non-operating expenses because we're not learning that. Amortization expense.
66,500.
66,500.
1157.
$11.67. Six, oh, 6:30. Closing. General Journal number 24 for 1167. Bringing my account balance now down to 0. Okay. Which one was that one? The subcontractor. Say that again?
I don't think you have a credit on that,
Which one?
on the expenses.
Which one?
Any of those on that particular screen. I'm trying to recall if there was any credit in there.
Looks all good to me. All right, so good. Now that I've completely zeroed out everything, so let's go ahead and solve for my total amount of income summary I am supposed to have with all of these expenses. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and equal sum my account. All right, and what did we get here?
I'm just reading what you have added there.
Well, I know. So that's why I'm like, Tennyson or Adina, did you guys get the same answer?
Yes.
15,727.03. Good.
Yes, we got it.
Perfect. So then now you're going to go to your equity account and we're going to update. Yes?
Yeah, because when after we were done with the COGS and the COM there, I thought it would be a different entry again on the GL, but I see that we input them all together, the COGS and the expenses together.
Yeah. What type of account is COGS? What type of account is COGS? they are also expenses, right? They're just categorized, right? You have two categories under expenses. It's either cost of goods sold or operating.
operating. So because all the while, because based from the first one that we did, that you did there, the revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like per whatever on the bottom part, the subcategory underneath equity, revenue, costs, expenses, things like that.
I mean, in this case, if you'd like to, you can separate them if you want to, but they're all gonna go. They're gonna all gonna end up going into the same location, anyways. So
Okay.
you know you're just making more journal space.
Okay.
So I'm gonna write here close out to income summary. All right, my last note I forgot to place in here. So, okay, good. Okay, and this is general journal number 24. All right, and I have a debit balance of, what was that number again? 15.
15,727.03.
Okay, so 15, 727.03. Okay, so here I should have a credit balance, but in this case I have a debit balance. So let's go ahead and let me see. So you're gonna go equal up one plus, hold on, income summary should have normally a balance. Okay, so it should be plus your credits minus your debits. So in this case, I have $13,152.71. Where do we see that?
In the income statement?
In the income statement. Yes. Let's make sure that is actually correct. Income statement. Income statement is going to be 13,152.71. So there you go. Our profits match 100%. All right, for the 13,152.71. Okay, so yay, there we go. We match right there. Right. So next step is to also, now we got to journalize, right? We got to close out our income summary to our owner's equity. Is that right? That's the last step, or not the very last step, but that is the step to reinvest into your company. So how do I zero out my income summary to my equity account? If I currently have a credit balance in my income summary, how do I zero out my account? We're going to debit the income summary, and what are we going to credit it to?
Income statement.
Not income statement.
Debit summary.
Okay, now we're going to debit income summary. What's our credit? If we're going to close it out to equity, what are we going to credit? What account are we going to credit it?
Equity?
Owner's equity. So therefore, since owner's equity normally has it, what does I'm so sorry, I cannot talk today. What is the normal balance for an owner's equity?
Credit?
It is a credit. So did we increase or did we decrease our income, our equity account?
Increase?
We increased it. That's correct, right? Because this is us increasing our profit and we're increasing the value of our company. So in this case, what was my value? 13,15271. And you're going to credit that same exact amount in your owner's equity. And I'm going to write here. Okay, it goes out to equity. So I'm already in my ledger. So I'm going to go ahead and close out to equity. All right, so for those who got this answer wrong, I think only a couple of you got it wrong. If there is currently a credit balance in my income summary, therefore you will debit the income summary to increase equity. If there's currently a debit balance in the income summary, you're going to credit it, making your income, you're making your, you're going to decrease your equity. Okay? So it's opposite. So if there's a credit balance in your income statement, you are going to increase your equity. If there's a debit balance in your income summary, you will decrease your equity. So in this case, we're going to be debiting it for 13,15271, and that should bring your account balance now down to 0. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and go up to owner's equity, and we're going to type in here income summary, general journal number 24, and we are crediting the account for 13,12571, bringing our new equity account balance, owner's equity, to be, oh, not that one. It's supposed to be up 1, okay, plus any credits minus any debits, to be 43,15271. Okay. And that is actually not what my equity account is for right now, because we have one more account to close out, and that's going to be closing out your owner's withdrawal to equity. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. 630. So since we have a debit balance in our owner's withdrawal, how do we zero out owner's withdrawal? We have to credit it. And where are we going to place it into? Owner's equity. So that means we're going to debit owner's equity because we're reducing it, right? And we're going to credit owner's withdrawal. All right, so that is 30,000, and this is 32,000. All right, and we're debiting $3,000 on each side. $3,000. Okay. And then I'm going to write here, close out to equity. All right. So with that being said, I'm in my ledger. I'm going to close out my withdrawal. Close to equity, general journal number 24 for $3,000, making my account balance now $0. Okay, going up to here to my equity count. I'm going to write owner's withdrawal. And journal number 24, I debited my account by $3,000. So therefore, now my account balance is, oh my gosh, up, I'm in the wrong column, that's why. Up 1, plus any credits, minus any debits. So now I'm 415271, which is the exact amount that I solved for in my statement of equity. So there you go. Everything matches up. So now I am completely done with my journal. All right, so I have to do one more step, which is the post-closing trial balance. Okay, and if you can already guess, since everything balanced, therefore your post-closing trial balance should look more or less identical to your balance sheet. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and, so what I'm going to do is here, I've reached the end of page 24. So I am done with my journal. So I'm going to go ahead and indicate here that I am completely done with my journal. And I'm going to go ahead and write here, close books, or books are closed. Okay. So let's go ahead and attempt my post-closing trial balance. Okay, now that I've completed this, let me see what time it is. Okay, it's only 10. So let's go ahead and do my post-closing trial balance to go ahead and complete my stuff. So I should have all of my accounts. What you want to do with it is what you want to do with it. Whether it is you want to use main accounts or you want to use sub accounts. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to use main accounts. So I have my bank account as number 1, right? You can use your ledger to answer your questions, or you can just go ahead and copy and paste the information from your previous one, but make sure that you have your debits in the correct places with your debits and your credits are in the correct places. So for example, my bank account, right, includes all 3 amounts here for the petty cash and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my adjusted trial balance. Okay, and I know that my bank account has this much amount right here. 13,388.80. Actually, I think to speed up this process, I'm going to move my worksheet over. Okay, so here's my adjusted trial balance. So I just put my bank account in there. What's next is should be accounts receivable. Make sure you indicate that you have a contra account in here. So I need to do accounts receivable. So my accounts receivable should have been 15, and my allowance for doubtful accounts is for 76.60. All right, my next account I have is going to be my business supplies, and then my office supplies and inventory. So office supplies should be for, business supplies should be for my my office supplies should be for, all right, and my inventory should be for, all right. So here's my furniture. So my furniture has both details in regards to the actual offset cost and the accumulated depreciation. So go ahead and you can either list them all out. Okay, so furniture. Damn, I don't want to list it all out, but I guess you could just go ahead and do accumulated for short. Um, mm-hmm. office equipment. Where is my U at? Equipment. Then we have just regular equipment. And then I have the accumulated depreciation for that one as well. Okay, what else do we have here? I think we have vehicles. So let me go ahead and copy all of this. So my furniture should be all right. I guess I could have just put all accumulated depreciation all in one. There we go for that one, 107 here. And then office equipment. All right, and my total equipment is these two numbers with my accumulated appreciation for them to be vehicles. That's with the depreciation. Okay, just remember we have to do separate between debits and credits. Okay, because we're testing to see if our debits match our credits. We after vehicles is going to be, so now I don't have to do any more. Prepaid accounts, deposits, and goodwill, then accounts payable. Oh, I have to do amortization for goodwill. All right, so post closing here. So prepaid. Prepaid accounts, deposits, then goodwill. And I have a Q. So I'm going to have to need some more for this one. Because I still have to do all of my liabilities. Okay, so goodwill, I have an accumulated goodwill. Ah, owner's equity. All right, so let me see here. So I have prepaid accounts for 6654. We have deposits for 1700. We have goodwill for 21 at 21. And we have accumulated amortization for the 1167. We have accounts payable for 45. We have Visa payable for 18. We have payroll tax liabilities for 791. And we have sales tax for the 28. And then we got loans. And then lastly, we have our new equity account, which we know we solved for in our statement of equity for 4052. And let's see if our debits match our credits, and they should. Okay, 79,341,703. Yes! Oh! Yay, we are done with this scenario because they all match. Our numbers match completely 100%. No discrepancy we need to find. So this is what you have to do for the post-closing trial balance. All right. So make sure your debits line up with your credits. And that is it for Coffee Cafe. Woo! All right.
Did you think it wasn't going to match up?
I had a feeling in my gut because I was just thinking how tedious I was had to do for all the accumulated depreciation. I should have just put them all into one.
And I got confused when that's why with the debit and the credit that you're inputting in there right now, we
Mhm.
base the data, the information from the adjustment from the
Mhm.
debit and the
Mhm.
credit
Mhm.
one. But I got confused what to input the figures because when you went into that screen, I was reading, but then you said there it should be this amount, the one that in the blue thing.
Yeah, the blue is
That's
because
what I
those are the
got
main
confused.
accounts.
Okay.
Yeah, just so then see, because like instead of having to fill it in with every single detail in here.
Yeah, I understand that, but
Mm-hmm.
say, if do you mind going to that screen? The adjustment. Yeah, there were some figures there that when I read and you said no, it has to be this amount, something like that.
Yeah, because okay, because so if you were to let's say for example, we did furniture to be this amount, it's
Mm-hmm.
actually inaccurate because you're that's
Yeah,
debits and credits
and
combined.
credit. I understand that, but there was that one particular figure. I forgot the one. I think the truck, something like that. I cannot remember.
Yeah, the truck
I Yeah, I read it as a 32, but I think you input it as 31 instead. Oh, no, no, no.
31 is vehicles in general because that includes the depreciation that we have on it.
Depreciation. So anything that has the depreciation, that's what we input on the debit there. Except, of course, that those that has the itemized depreciation on those items.
Well, in this
Right.
case, like I said, I could have just summed up every single depreciation that I occurred and just put it all into one and name it just accumulated depreciation and then just have the sum of it. But in this case, I was like, wait, I have each main account, so I should just keep it organized that way. Make every single main account on there and have the accumulated depreciation for that main account. So add up the totals. So in this case, my vehicles, right, included accumulated depreciation on the truck. So my vehicles right now, it's outstanding for 31. That's what it says because again, accumulated depreciation is a contra account.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to decrease the main account. But in because of the historical cost reasons, I can't change that. So in this case, and I know that my accumulated depreciation is always going to be a credit balance. So I need to make sure that I split my debits and credits because if I were to place all these information in there, your trial balance will not match
Mm-hmm.
because you're combining your credits into your debits. All right.
That's where I got confused, the input of those data on the
Yes.
file.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why it would have been better if you just went through your trial, your what do you call it, your ledger. But again, I've already summed up my main accounts. Again, I don't want to clutter my post closing trial balance, so that is why I have it like this. All right, I'm gonna move it all the way back to its spot behind cash flows because that's where it belongs. And right now, so that is it for Coffee Cafe. So I will stop here